All right. Yeah, we are back, and I really am I have to apologize for all of that because they recommended a certain bandwidth channel in order to broadcast faster, and apparently it was totally crappy. It's not the right one to do at all. Wait a minute, it's still saying I'm dropping my connection. I have no idea what's going on. Ustream, what is going on here? Oh my goodness. Yeah, power of positivity. Proper topic for this week, that's for sure. Okay, yeah, I have no idea why this is screwing up this hard, so I'm going to have to close the Skype line. I thought that would be a cool idea for this week, but unfortunately, this is really like taking up way too much of the bandwidth, and it's got to go. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm closing that right now, and then I'm going to have to keep on marching forward. Clearly, this is what was using up all of the bandwidth, because Skype is a really, really resource-heavy program. Now Skype isn't even responding. There we go. It's gone. Skype is all gone. I'm apologizing for all the people who I said could call into this show. Apparently, Skype is one of the most intense things that you can open up on a live broadcast. Who would have thought? All right, we're going to keep on trucking, guys. I really apologize, but like I said, thank you for tuning in. This is Crimson Media Radio, and we just played our first track, so if you were watching the live stream, that was part of the same thing. It's probably not in the archives anymore, but we just played the For the King track. And I'm just going to play the track one more time because I really want to make sure everybody who tuned in right now, who got the live stream dropped, this is the band that we had just played. So I'm going to play it one more time just to, make sure everybody got to hear it. This is For the King right here on Crimson Media Radio.
Early morning fog, spit-filled lawn. My musket ain't clean and my bonnet's rusting. I would pray to God, but God, all I see is destruction. Stood in line, hat held low, powder and cannon rumbling towards boots on the ground as the fog clear, the enemy approaches. I keep telling myself it'll be alright. Just make it out of here.
That was For the King, and that is the second time that we are back live, and I do apologize for that, everybody. Like I said, sometimes when you're using Skype and you're trying to do a live show, I guess that those two things don't play nicely together, and that was really like part of my whole spiel this week, is that I wanted people to be able to randomly call in. But apparently you're going to need even bigger bandwidth than I even have for that, so which is weird because I have 20 megabits per 20 megabits per second upload speed. That seems like enough to be able to, sufficiently do a live show, but I guess not. Anyways, thank you for tuning in, everybody, and I do apologize for the drops that we've had, but we are solid. I've gotten all the bandwidth cleared up, and this will be hopefully a smooth ride all the way to the end now. And I will make a separate video where I edit the beginning part and this part together. So, but right now, the stream, if you look at our Ustream channel, it will be a little bit choppy. I'm going to clean that up a little bit later, too. So thank you for sticking with us, and we're going to keep on trucking to the topic of the hour, which is the power of positivity. Who would have thought that that would be testing my mettle on that today, like right live on the air. I'm going to talk about positivity because I know that a lot of people, they talk about this like it's some sort of like hippie, like, some sort of hippie ideal. Oh, you got to talk positively, man. Everything that you want that's positive, it comes back into you. But let's put all that hippie shit aside for just a second and think about it like realistically. I've asked a lot of people this question lately when they're in a band or a music act or they're a professional. Which people do you not want in your life at all? Do you want somebody who's always telling you that things can be good, things can be better, things are like, at least like, we have a path towards victory? Or is it the person who is constantly complaining and is always like having like that negative energy and is always like trying, kind of being a cloud on everything? And obviously people are saying like, I wouldn't spend time with that second person. I wouldn't spend time with the person who, is like bringing me down. And that's an obvious thing. Now you need to ask yourself the second question. Are you being that person? Now, the point is that when you are in a professional relationship with a lot of people, I think that it's almost your obligation to be pleasant to people. Because, there's a lot of moodiness, there's a lot of like, like dark debutante kind of stuff. And a lot of people who are in rock bands or just like, music acts in general, I think that it's like being cynical is like what they think is in vogue right now. But the problem is in this scene, there's just a whole bunch of little dark storm clouds, like, spewing everywhere. And it's really not like, a positive, conducive environment towards creativity, making things happen. It's really kind of like a drag. My point is that you don't want to be a drag. You personally want to be the person who's uplifting, because who do you like hanging out with in your own life? You like uplifting people who help you get towards your goals. You like people who actually like inspire that positive mindset and keep you on track with your own life goals. So the point is that if you have a person in your life who is like a negative influence, somebody who says, you can't do that, or, oh, everybody who tries to do that is going to fail, or just isn't like, helping you out, and or not even like, going to your house and doing stuff every day, although that is nice as well. Hint, hint for all your friends who are moving. But, yeah, if you're like really like, you have somebody who isn't that kind of like positive influence who can like help you at least talk about your goals realistically and help you reaffirm that, I think that that's going to be a much better crowd to surround yourself, especially because, like I said, who wants somebody who's in their life who's a drag? Nobody wants that. And who wants to be that person in somebody else's life? You don't want to be that person either. So you'll be a much better artist and a better performer as well if you just like kind of harness that positivity. Because if you do that, you're just going to have better interactions with everybody. And I really think that that's the most important part of like dealing with the stress of the music scene, is being able to like have positive interactions with people and be able to confidently and positively assert yourself, whatever end that may lead you. Because, being positive doesn't mean like not standing up for your own goals. So that's what we're going to talk about in a few segments here. And that's it really isn't a bad thing to, be positive, but it's also, you don't have to let yourself be walked over because you're a nice, positive guy. There are ways to assert yourself too. And we'll talk about that as well. But like I said, first of all, think about that positivity ideal. Think about who you are in people's lives. Are you a positive person? Are you someone who contributes to it? If so, that'll make them want to work with you, and you're going to have a much better interaction in the scene. If you're not, Some people get by being moody, but when you aren't in the position of power anymore and you're acting moody to people, I personally don't think that that's going to be a lasting formula for success. So, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Even if you don't have much to say, one of the things I've always said is if you're not very talkative, you can at least be the guy who listens. I think that people really appreciate that. So even if you're not very extroverted, I always say, be that person in people's lives who listens to them then. They'll appreciate that too. When you see people, just smile at them, It's one thing I've been doing lately that I really think is important. I've been just walking down the street sometimes, and if, somebody's like kind of walking my way, I just smile at them. What's up, man? And everybody who I do that to is right back. What's up, dude? And you build just that sociality just by being cognizant of the people around you. A lot of people are like right now, just heads buried in their phones, headphones on. I'm wearing headphones because I have to do my radio show. But, it's a really important thing is to being able to talk to yourself positively and being able to have those positive people in your life and just being able to accept and acknowledge the world around you. I mean, this is the world that we got, so there's no reason to completely abandon it. You need to, be cognizant of everybody around you and what you can offer them. So yeah, power positivity, definitely something to keep in mind. It'll help your life and your professional relationships quite a bit, and it has in mine. We're going to keep talking about this in just a little bit, but I want to get to my next track here because we have a few other bands that have contributed, but one of them was a really great band called E.M.D.F. They wrote me from Utah, and I really liked their tracks. I thought it was great, so I played one of their tracks last week, but they sent me a bunch, so I'm going to play one of their tracks right now as well. So here's E.M.D.F. I hope you guys like this track. It's all the way from Utah, and yeah, it's a great track. It's really cool. Let's go ahead and play that. This is E.M.D.F. on Crimson Media Radio.
Scarred on the inside, and my chest is getting tight. There's no way out this time. When will I ever learn? My bones are all cracked on the brink of a panic attack. Precious in my mind burn. When will I ever learn? I've spent my whole life being pushed to the ground. Now it's time to show who I am. I'll test my limits and break free. Never learn from my mistakes. Had all I can take. There's no way out this time. When will I ever learn? I spent my whole life alone and afraid. Not getting out this time. When will I ever learn? I guess I'll never learn. I spent my whole life being pushed to the ground. Now it's time to show who I am. I'll test my limits and break free. I spent my whole life being pushed to the ground. Now it's time to show who I am. I'll test my limits and break free. I
And that was Echo Muse from Utah. Thank you very much for sending the tracks, guys. They sent me 3 tracks total, but I played 2, and then I got to give some artist time to some other people. But I'd love to have you guys on the show. If you guys ever want to do an interview, love to talk to you guys further. Absolutely. So that was Echo Muse once again, moving right along on Crimson Media Radio on a Power of Positivity hour, which I think is very ironic considering that the stream has been dropped twice now. But yeah, that's the thing. I just problem solve when this kind of stuff happens, and that's why I'm grateful that for all of its faults when you're doing a live event, just having the ability to do that and even figure it out is a blessing in itself. And it really does do a good job to lead people right back to the main stream, even if I do lose a little bit of broadcast time. So thank you for sticking with us, and we're gonna keep on trucking with hopefully a very limited set of bandwidth problems from that point on. And I always use the term keep on trucking because one of the things that I used to say that I'm starting to stop is fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Heard that in Resident Evil 7, and it's been part of my lexicon ever since. So yeah, keep on trucking and fuck you and the horse you rode in on. My family's from Texas, I can say this shit, okay? So the next part on Power of Positivity that we were going to be talking about is stress, because careers can be stressful. Right now I am attending Musicians Institute, so I can do a whole bunch of, I can obtain a bunch of knowledge about how the music industry works and hopefully have a more professional career. But when you're doing a lot of stuff, sometimes it really does get stressful. And stress takes its toll in various ways. Sometimes when you're on stage and you're stressed, the thing that happens is you feel yourself tense up, you just I can't perform because I'm too tight around here. Now you can't play your guitar solos because you're too tight. You can't sing properly because you don't have the right kind of breath. Stress can really take its toll on you physically and obviously emotionally and mentally. But stress is something you gotta try and eliminate from your diet as much as possible. Now, how do you do that? People say that stress is completely out of your control. Well, one of the things I've noticed when people talk to me about stress is that they really have an easy time saying that their life is stressful, but when I explain to them that they are sprinting through their life, they seem to write that off. They're like, well, that's what I have to do in my life. That's not true. Now, a lot of people sprint through their careers, their life. They just try to get from one point to another because that's, what the world demands of you sometimes. But the thing is, life it's really a marathon. It's not a race. And I know that sounds like a tagline, but here's what I mean. If you're going to school or you're working on a project right now, you're kind of working on something that's important to you, important to somebody else, what you have to do is you have to make that happen, but you also have to make it happen in a time frame that works for you. For example, sometimes people work, and then they burn themselves out. They plop down, they do 12 hours of Netflix. I can't ever do that again. That's just not worth it. And it's just you don't want to do stuff anymore because you really worked too hard to just get to the point that you were at, and then you just neglected tons and tons of work because you had just worked so hard that you didn't have the ability to work anymore. So the thing is you really have to pace yourself. And what I like to do personally when I'm doing work, I like to spread out my work right here, and then I like to set up something that's kind of relaxing over here or on the TV, for example. So what I do is I'm just kind of casually doing homework, and then if I feel like I'm getting stressed, I just put it down for 2 seconds. I just spend a few minutes maybe playing a video game really quick, hopping on the web, just watching something funny on YouTube, maybe watching an episode of my favorite show on Netflix, or even just putting a puzzle together. There are a lot of different things you can do that can distract you from what you are focusing on that help you get grounded. I always like to think about it you have things that bring your stress up, and then there are things that bring your stress levels down. So you got to be cognizant of that, because that's your entire energy set right there. If you just keep on going, and then you burn out, you're going to be worthless. If you go, and then you kind of let yourself calm down, you go, you calm down, then you're not going to burn yourself out. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's very, very important to just kind of pace yourself so that you're ready to conquer all your obligations in life. Sometimes I'm up until 11 at night, working on stuff, but it's just a consistent, small bits of work throughout the day kind of thing, where I feel totally relaxed and ready to go to bed at the end of the day. So I highly recommend this. Just pace yourself out. As a matter of fact, this is what I ultimately did, and I recommend this for you too. what you should do is you should write things that you know are like, cortisol raisers, as we say. Cortisol is it's the chemical in your body that regulates stress, and stress is a good thing in certain instances because it heightens your awareness. But if you have lower cortisol, you can also you get too heightened cortisol, then you start feeling like nervous. You start feeling like, ooh, I can't do anything because I'm stressed out. So it's really it's important to regulate your cortisol levels. Think about things that like raise it, that stimulate you, and also think about things that help bring it back down and help you relax. Make a list of that, and then see if you can even like pace it out. Like, I go up here with this, I go down with that, and then you can actually like pace out an entire day for yourself without having to just, burn yourself out from all the work that you're doing. Trust me, you're going to be a lot happier if you write this kind of pacing sheet. It will benefit you greatly. It has my own life, and I recommend it for you as well. So that's the second part of the talk of the hour, which is, of course, positivity. We're going to keep on going with that. I'm going to talk about relationships and how to deal with a social circle. With group dynamics, it's a little bit different than one-on-one communication. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, too. But the next one that we're going to be playing now, we have a band from Upland, who has been on the show before, and they are the lead guitar player has been a good friend of mine for several years. They are called Old Blood, and they are quite popular on this show. I'm going to play another track from their album because they sent me the whole album, and so far I've only played the first track. It's been my favorite. But I'm going to go ahead and play another one. It's Spending Time with Strangers, I believe is the name of the song. It's a great track, really good, and I think that you guys are going to like it. If you guys haven't checked out Old Blood already, go to Old Blood Group on Twitter, and go ahead and check them out on Facebook as well. They're a really great group, and I think you guys will love them. They just played a show in Pasadena as well. Sorry I couldn't be there for that, guys, but I just started school this week, and I had a 12-hour day that day. I was just passed out by the time I got home. Next show at Pasadena, I promise. I will be there. All right, so check them out, Old Blood, and we are going to play their track right here on Crimson Media Radio. Here they are.
Thank
And that was Old Blood. That's a really groovy track, but then again, the whole album is really groovy. So if you guys haven't checked that out on iTunes yet, if you haven't gone and checked out their website, the hell is wrong with you, son? It's awesome. Check it out, all right? All right, Old Blood. And by the way, I just wanted to mention, if you guys are watching this live and you guys have seen bands that you like, like some other bands from the show, and you guys have really been appreciating each other's music, like each other's pages. I really mean that. I want this to be a community. I really want everybody to be involved in talking with each other. I want shows to be inspired by this. I want people to really meet each other as a result of what they've heard on this show. So please, go out there, spread this with your friends, and go ahead and like every band that you see on this. If you want to be a really active member of the community, because I think that that's one of the best parts about Crimson Media is the fact that so much of this is shared, and it's an open community. It's big umbrella. We want everybody of all different types and genres to be able to have their music heard here. It's the whole point of the radio show. So yeah, go ahead and give everybody else's page a like as well. I'm sure they would appreciate it. So we've been talking about the topic of positivity, the hippie ideal that many people tell you that you should live by, but I'm telling you, having a positive mindset is really important, especially when you're in stressful situations that, the stress could get the best of you. It's really important to have a positive outlook. We've talked about some ways of regulating stress. We've talked about ways of being a positive person so that people actually want to have interactions with you. And then we've also talked about, we're about to talk about the topic of relationships, because you also have to deal with, the social dynamics of being in the music scene. So that's what we're going to talk about right now, is the social dynamics of everything. One of the things I always hear is that everybody tells you need to act like an alpha, It's, you got to be like the main guy. You got to have like your ideals enforced, sometimes through force. And, it's just really an ideal that I think gets misconstrued because, when you hear confidence, a lot of times what people think of is cockiness. And that's not necessarily what we're talking about when it comes to, having like an alpha mindset when you're going into music. Now, the thing is, you meet a lot of different people when you're making your music, you're playing shows, you're doing that kind of thing. The relationships with the people around you is obviously very important. But one of the things I think a lot of people do is they just end up being like really cocky. They think that that's confidence. They think it's like, whatever, man, I'm in this band, I do this, and you don't do anything that's as cool as me. And they try to just kind of like alpha everybody. They think that that's like what it means to be like the head honcho of a band. But really, I think that what people are more impressed by oftentimes is humility. Like a willingness to learn, a willingness to listen, a willingness to work with them. Because, everybody's like kind of like a cocky douche nowadays. And I don't mean that to downplay anybody else or just like throw that as an insult. But, as far as like formula for, being in a band, that is not a new card that you're playing there, being the cocky guy. And I've done that too. When I was 19, 20, I think that I used to always walk around just, trying to be the... Excuse me. That shows how much I've changed as an adult right there. I used to be the cock of the walk, so to speak, just always walking with my chest puffed out, just whatever, man. And, nowadays I'm not saying that I am any less confident, but I think that the thing that's happened in my older age is that I've been much more willing to, give myself more into honesty. I think that's been one of the strongest virtues that you need to preach when you're living according to your own life. The more honest you are, the more pleasant you are, just the more down to earth and real you are, the more people are going to respect you. And it's really one of those things is that you can be the person who asserts himself, but you don't have to be like the person who asserts himself just simply by being a dick to everybody. I mean, Motley Crue did it in the 80s. I was reading the Dirt the other day when Mick Mars was, he'd just be like, I don't like him. He's not in the band. And that was cool. I dug that. The 80s was much more punk rock, and the 90s came around with grunge. But, the whole thing is back then, being an attitude-driven rock star, it was a little bit different because, you were only, doing all of the PR stuff for, your band, and then you were just, they expected you to put up with, the people at the labels, and that's where the punk rock mentality came from. just like butting heads with the suits and having to deal with like, you know, the corporate America side of being in a band. So a lot of shitty attitudes came from that actually seem kind of funny in retrospect. But today it's all like social networking. It's all like meeting people and having relationships and connecting with people on a day-to-day basis. So that's why it's not really a winning formula anymore. You can't really do it Mick Mars style and just be like, you know what, fuck you. I mean, sometimes you can, you know, I still do it occasionally. I can't deny, you know, I have a rebellious streak. What can I say? But you know, I guarantee that you'll have a much better success ratio if you're friendly to everybody, and if you really if you garner their respect instead of just like, you know, either, you know, kissing their ass isn't good. Obviously, if you meet someone who you really want to have the if you want to keep on getting to know, you want to like kind of like explore a little bit more, then I don't think that kissing their ass is a winning formula either. But a genuine curiosity to what they're doing, I think, definitely goes a long way. A lot of people, you know, everybody wants their life story to mean something. You taking an interest in someone's life story, that's a winning formula right there. You know, that's really like what people are forgetting to do, I think, is to just connect with people like that and be able to, you know, share their ideas in ways that are sincere. It's really not just like a presentation. It's not like anything that you're just putting on for people. It's who you are, and it's a genuine part of what you'll show when you're giving your interest to someone. So just work on that. Try and figure out, you know, like how you can genuinely work with people instead of just like putting on a show, trying to alpha people. All that stuff is not really the best way to be in today's society, just because, you know, it's not record labels you're trying to impress. It's not really anything like that. Nowadays, you're just impressing like the many, many millions of people you're going to have interactions with on both the web and in real life. So be the good guy, you know, and be sincere. Be sincere. And but the next thing we're going to talk about, obviously, is setting healthy boundaries as well, because, you know, being sincere and being like an accommodating person to work with. Also, you know, people will try and take advantage of that if you're really like too open, too nice. So I'm going to help some of the nice guys here, some of the guys who really have good intentions. They want to like do the right thing, but maybe they're getting taken advantage of sometimes because they don't have that ruthless streak. I'm going to help you guys talk about setting up some healthy boundaries as well, because there really are ways to like, you know, do your ideals without having to feel bad about being mean or anything like that. You know, just like saying, hey, this is how I feel about it. We're going to talk about that as well. So that'll be the next one. But before we do that, and then we're going to get to the interview section as well, where we'll be talking about Patrick Carrico and Daniel from E.M.D.F. Both of those are coming right up. But what we're going to be talking about next after boundaries is going to be the interviews. But here we go with our final track of the hour before I play Daniel and Patrick. The first one is called, the track that we're playing by this is not the first one we played, excuse me, that's what I meant. All right, more caffeine, wake up. So the whole thing is that this is not the first track I played by this band. This is the second video I played by these guys, but this is a cool video right here. This is by a band called #Yeah. I've played them a few times on the show, but they made a new music video, and it's really, really a neat attempt. You know, I see Venice in here, I see Los Angeles, and then eventually he goes back to, I think that's Tempe, where he's standing on top of a mountain, and you can just see the spread of the entire state, and it's just incredible. So this is their new music video for a song called The Game. It's really great. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, please check them out. And also we're going to be playing, they're going to come down to the studio, and we're going to do an interview with them at the end of the month. So keep your eyes open for that. We're going to have #Yeah in the studio. But for now, let's play their new music video. This is called The Game, and it is their newest one right here on Crimson Media Radio.
Thinking to yourself, gonna take the world on. I'm playing this game. When it all falls down to nothing, I'm playing this game. It's for shooting for the stars, a brighter future's never certain. Passion, purpose, one at a time. It's more of a grind. I'm feeling the vibe. Pushing the limits. I'm thinking of you. Gripping a feeling. That's all I can do. It's all I can do. That's all I can do. I'm playing this game. Ooh, I'm playing this game. goes the minute hand. With my friends and we counting grands. It's about time that we made a stand. About time that we made our stand. Boom, knocked your lights out. You know when this game's over. Who are you to doubt me? Doubt me. I'm playing this game. Ooh, I'm playing this game. Ooh, I'm playing this game. Yeah, I'm playing this game. Ooh, I'm playing. Beautiful, so beautiful.
That is a excellent track. I love that song. And that is by #, the song The Game. We posted that on our wall a little while ago, but definitely look them up. They're called #, and it's a really, really great modern digital music project. Yeah, I mean, I love every track I've heard by them so far, and I'm really excited to have them in the studio coming up. So look for them at the end of the month. I believe it's the 30th they're coming on, the final Sunday of this month. So yeah, we're gonna have #, here in the studio. They're coming out all the way from Arizona just to come on Crimson Media Radio. Pretty excited about it. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're going to go to the final subject for the topic of the hour, which is boundaries when we're talking about the power of positivity. And then we're going to play the interview sections. One of them is with E.M.D.F, and the next one is with Patrick Carrico. But first of all, we're going to talk about the boundaries. Now, we've talked about, the power of positivity being that positive influence in people's lives instead of being a drag on people's lives, because just doing it for the simple reason of wanting people in your life is truly beneficial. You definitely want people to like you and want you to be in their life instead of having to, kind of butt heads with people and be unpleasant. But the thing is, that doesn't just necessarily mean being agreeable. A lot of people who are pleasant sometimes feel like they really have to make themselves all available for everybody, and they let people take advantage of them because they know that there are other people who can't take care of themselves at all. So when they see that person who's positive, they just want to latch onto it and suck as much of the life out of them as they can, so to speak. So one of the important things to also have is healthy boundaries. And I know that it sounds like an after school therapist recommendation, but it's really true. Having a healthy boundary set for your life is really important, because if somebody comes and tells you you need to do something that you're fundamentally against, a lot of people kind of waffle away from that stuff. Well, I don't know, maybe I'll still do it, but I don't feel good about it. No, kill that guy too. Because honestly, if you're that kind of person, you're going to get taken advantage of all the time. You can't feel bad about how you feel about something, You have to feel confident in your own interests, and that's really a difficult thing to understand sometimes, is just being able to capture your own interest and not be a dick about it, because there are other people who also assert themselves all the time, but they're just total dickheads about it. All they'll say is, oh, well, we're doing it this way and that's the way it is. And you're like, okay, Captain America, you want to also go out there and save all the starving children while you're fucking taking the lead here? It's really important to be able to not be a wimp, but also not just be a cocky dickhead. And this is where boundaries are important. What I've found is important is to just assert yourself, for good or for ill. Tell people how you feel about it. People are like, hey, Steve, I think that we should do it this way. You think about it? Is that the way that it should do? I feel like it's no. Yeah, I don't think we should do that, dude. Well, Steve, if we don't. Yeah, I really think I hear you. I understand. But this is the reason why I don't think that that's a good idea. And, then if we have to start going to hierarchy from that point on, then it's okay, well, this is the guy who's in charge of the project, blah, blah, blah. Do we put it to a vote? But really knowing how you feel about something and expressing that is very healthy and very important. So make sure that you're speaking up, but, don't be the guy who's just butting heads just to butt heads. Be realistic about how you feel about things. And that's why it's important to just sit down and talk to yourself about how you feel about various issues. So when you assert yourself and you put up these boundaries, you're not doing it in an unproductive way. You're not just shutting yourself off from the world. You're not just like, telling everybody that it's your way or the highway. Instead, you're able to confidently share your ideas. And also, listening when you set up your boundaries is important too. You put up a boundary and somebody else tells you, hey, you know what? I think that actually that's a good idea, but here's why I think that you should adjust your view. It's important to listen to that too, because no man's an island and no man's always right is the very important thing about it. You're not always correct about everything. It's really important to have another point of view. So setting up boundaries is important to protect your own point of view, but listen to others as well. Really just know how to tell them this is why I feel that way, and I'm now listening to why you feel that way. And then you can start arguing on the merits of things. But merits are much more important than ego. You know what I mean? When you have an ego and you're just letting that drive the dialogue, all you're doing is you're going towards the productive end of stroking that person's ego. And why is that important to the band? What's important is your goals. What's important is your action item list. That's what you're trying to accomplish when you're in a group. So why would you want to just be butting heads with everybody around you just so you can have a dick swinging contest? I'm sorry. We always use these terms like dick swinging competition. I'm sorry for all the ladies who have to think about all this. Ugh, and the guys as well. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think penises are pretty at all. Just a personal thing, I don't care if you think that. As a matter of fact, I'm glad there are women who do think that they are attractive. What a tangent we're on. So yeah. Important, healthy boundaries, very, very important. Just make sure that you really know how you feel about things. That's why I recommend spending some meditative time. Just, even write down some of the things that are your attitudinal beliefs and just know how you feel about things. That way you don't go from a gut reaction. You can intellectually think about how you feel about it. And then you can confidently bring that to a dialogue when you're time to start talking about ideas. And then if someone tries to make you do something that isn't okay with you, that you don't think is cool, you just have the confident ability to be like, no, I can't, I'm not going to do that because I don't believe in that at all. And, sometimes that'll make a little bit of difficulty, but I've always said it's more important to, save your soul than just simply do what's necessary. Doing what's necessary is how you get taken advantage of. And also just saying no to everything and always butting heads with people is how you alienate everyone. So find that sweet spot in the middle. Boundaries are very important. That's the power of positivity, kids, and thanks for listening to this segment. We're going to move right along to the interview segment that we did with the bands. This segment includes one video that I did with Daniel, who is in E.M.D.F. from Las Vegas. Now, if you've been watching the show, you saw him in episode 2. Daniel and Patrick did an interview with us. But I called up Daniel earlier today, and we did a little interview. So we're going to go ahead and show you that interview. Daniel spent 20 minutes telling us what E.M.D.F. has been up to lately. And let me tell you, E.M.D.F. has been really cool because they've actually played a lot of great shows lately. Lately, they played a show with John 5. They played a show with the House of Blues down there, and it was really it's a great set list. They've been doing a lot of cool stuff, so I wanted to get you guys caught up on what E.M.D.F. has been up to lately. Here's the interview with Daniel, and he's gonna get us all caught up on what the band's up to. Interview number 1 on Crimson Media Radio. Welcome back to Crimson Media Radio. We are now on the Skype line with our good friend Daniel Dazjig from E.M.D.F. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good. So Daniel was the second guest for the radio show. We did E.M.D.F. You and Patrick came down and sat and talked with us for a little bit last time. And, we showed some of your music videos. We were able to show off some of your tracks last time. It's all great stuff, but it seems like a lot more has gone on since we've talked. Hint, hint.
Yeah, we had a good show with John 5. It went over really well. Like I said, it was going to be one of those shows where I wasn't sure how we were going to react with the crowd, just because I'm sure there was going to be Manson and Zombie fans, of course. But
of course,
you're coming to see a guy just shred up there, so we're not a shredder kind of band. But,
yeah,
it went over really well. He put on an amazing show, obviously. I'm sure you've seen it in LA.
Yeah, I went to go see it at the Whiskey A Go Go, and it was just a fucking incredible show. I mean,
Yeah.
and the other bands that played with him were actually instrumental bands. It was just like a guitar player who was playing with a drummer, pretty much. And
Okay.
it was interesting, but I mean, it wasn't like the full band setup. But I was surprised at how well John Five was actually even able to pull off like the live band feel with himself. He had the bass player, the drummer. It was really on point. So I think that like a full band can definitely like vibe in with that kind of show. Is the feel I got.
Yeah, it was definitely a good show, and it was definitely really packed in Vegas. So it was like one of the bigger crowds we played in front of, which was
That's
good.
incredible. Good.
But besides that, we had a show at House of Blues a couple of days ago, which I don't want to say, to me, surprisingly went a lot better than I expected. And the only reason I say that, we played with a lot of great local bands, but they were a lot heavier than the style we played. There's our buddy's band in Psychosis.
Yeah.
They're actually, if people want to check out, really good European melodic death metal sounding band. And then there was like more of a death metal band.
I think we talked about them in the last show. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like all these like a lot heavier bands, but surprisingly after the show, I had a lot of people, more than any other time, people just coming up and saying how great we were and how they were like amazed. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
It's very unexpected. We just got up there and played, and it was a good show.
And it connected. Yeah, I saw some clips from that online, and honestly, I think that was one of your most professional-looking shows that I've seen, and that was one of the things I wanted to talk about on the show today, is the fact that, I've seen a lot of your guys' clips online anyways, and by the way, I can't wait to see you guys when you come to the Viper Room here in LA. Everybody who lives here, you better check that shit out. Go and look on their website, buy tickets, it's coming up. But I was noticing that there really is, like, it seems like your shows are really taking a great uptick, you guys have like the lights, the smoke, like the stage makeup. You guys look professional when you hit the stage now. It really feels like you guys have like, taken it into high gear with your band. Do you feel like, all the work that you guys have put in, the footwork is finally like paying off for you guys? Like, you can feel that in the live shows?
Yeah, definitely. Also with the lineup changes, like some of the previous videos, I'm pretty sure you've seen that there's different people, and it's like, it always takes a good amount of time to find the people you're just going to fit in well. And now I finally feel like we have the perfect band that I wanted to be in. So that helps. And then slowly, like with the smoke machines and everything, we're trying to dial everything in. And I always told everybody, I said, I feel like we're the kind of band that needs the stuff up. Like, we're not the four guys that get up there and we can just play. Like, everybody can do that.
It's got production. It's got like some good, sound and lights and smoke and fog.
I like when people say like you shouldn't need that kind of stuff. I'm like, that's ridiculous, because if you want to see a show, you want to see a show, like everybody can put on a CD and like that's fine. Like you need something more live.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what like we're trying to more and more. It takes money and time, like slowly to upgrade. So it's like kind of play like a Sims game or something where you're slowly building it up from scratch,
Yeah, it's like an RPG kind of feel, you get new items, you can't wait to try them out in the field, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, but
I'm sounding like a real nerd right now.
No, it's all good, man. But the funny thing is, that show had so many technical difficulties in the beginning that it was ridiculous. Like my wireless didn't work, my first guitar didn't work.
Your wireless microphone?
My wireless for my guitar didn't work.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, that's a tough one.
At the end of our one of our songs, our drummer's bass pedal broke. Like the metal piece broke off. So luckily they had a spare to replace, but
yeah, you're lucky when you get spares when you're playing a live show. I've broken like strings on guitars, or even I broke the headstock on my guitar before one show, and I was just begging everyone to let me use their Les Pauls, and they were like, "Nah, bro."
You might break mine.
Yeah, exactly. They saw how I treated my own gear, so obviously, how would I treat theirs? But anyways, I digest. Go ahead.
Like it went over great. Like with it's funny. People tell us like when we had another issue at one of our previous shows, like you guys do a really professional job, not not getting mad or something. I'm like, well, it's a show, you try to do your best and move on and hopefully finish the set. And we got to play all of our songs, and like I said, had a great response. So it's like one of those moments after a show where you realize like, I feel like I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes you have doubts, but this definitely was like one of those things where it's like, no, we're doing what we need to be doing.
Yeah, that's a great positive attitude to have. You know, like one of the things I'm talking about on this week's show is the power of positivity, and I don't mean to sound like a fucking hippie or anything like that. But, you know, like honestly, like one of the things I've noticed is like, you know, if you're like dealing in a tough scene where people have a lot of like technical errors, things are obviously going to go wrong in the live environment. I mean, it's gone wrong in the show a few times even. But, you know, like one of the things is just like you want to be that guy who people want to be around. You know, you want to be able to put out that energy that will make you more of a conducive personality to work with. You know, nobody wants to work with that asshole who's always like, you know, just like bummed out about everything, getting constantly downtrodden, just like, bro, I can't believe that went that way. This sucks. You know, who wants to hang out with that guy? You gotta have a lot of positivity, and it's not just like the hippie, like, you know, like you get out what you put in. It's like literally like, you know, people want to be around that guy who has that attitude, has that can do kind of like, let's make this work no matter what kind of thing. And that's really good that, you know, you're learning to get up on stage, your guitar fails. Well, keep on going, make the live show, keep on working, you know? Even if, you know, something totally technically wrong goes and happens, just interact with the audience. Hey, how you guys doing tonight? You know, like all that shit.
Well, the good thing about us is also Patrick loves to talk, and he can talk for hours. So I just looked over at him. I'm like, talk. Well, talk to the crowd, but we deal with, you know, what it is. And then, you know, Patrick being goofy, asking people about Overwatch and all these games. I'm like, I don't even know what he's talking about. I got distracted. I'm like, oh, wait, I need to fix this problem that we're having. But
hey, you know what? It's good that somebody has the ability to just own that microphone. I got to say that. So let me ask you about the technical errors you guys have like experienced during the show. You know, you guys have the fog and lights. I think that I know which unit that is. I saw it a long time ago. Is that Chauvet one?
You know what? I think so, because there's like two different ones that I'm like, yeah,
the Chauvet Geyser, I think it's called.
Yeah, it's the $300 model, because they have like after that it ranges up and up and up. But
yeah, but that one's cool. I really like that one, and it doesn't even take that much time to set up live. You know, you can just DMX two cables together, and then you can just use the controller just to hit the proper downbeats that you need. It's a really good thing. I recommend like people live. It's definitely a cool thing to check out, Chauvet Geyser. But you know, it also doesn't require much setup time. Which, you know, is that something that you guys have experienced when you're like setting up a more elaborate show? You actually have to like, you know, like have like you have to hit that downtime, that downbeat for when the show has to start. Yet you have a lot of things you have to set up live. How do you guys like kind of, you know, figure that all out?
Well, this show was a little more like the timing was a little rough because there was about 6 bands and the setup time I think was about 10 minutes.
Sure.
So it was like, well, if we can, I just rushed over, put the smoke machines there real quick, and then, you know, take care of the guitar. Like sometimes we talked about, I said, you know what, I'd rather have a good sound and be set up well and sacrifice one song that we don't play, but still be able to put on a show. Because if we can put on a great show and play 5 songs instead of 6, I'd rather do that than play 6 songs and then not put on as good of a show with all the stuff that we need to set up.
Right. Yeah, I've had that problem just even setting up the DAW or the tracks in the background where I went over time a little bit. You know, the sound guy's like, hey, you know, what are you guys doing? You know, and
that's always my stressful moment is when it comes to the backing tracks.
Yeah. And I was about to ask, you know, you guys, you pretty much set that up through. It looks like the drummer has like most of the backline going throughout the show, right?
Yeah. It's just an iPod through a mixer and it's
left, right, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Quick track, backing track.
Yep.
And that's it.
I know that game, yeah. And, you know, honestly, that's even though that sounds like a super simple setup, it's still kind of stressful because, you know, like there's volume levels, there's just like, you know, even cabling that's that small can like, you know, go wrong occasionally. You can deal with wiring issues and stuff. And that's pretty much your whole show in a way. I mean, if something that's just small like that goes wrong, you know, your whole sound's going to be different. Have you ever had anything like that where it's just like the whole sound just like shit out on you and you're just like, all right, show must go on?
Well, we had an issue before with our old mixer where we weren't able to use a click track at all. So it was just backing tracks. Right. So I don't even know how Walter, our drummer, was even able to play because, I mean, just imagine listening to a bunch of weird keyboards that you got to follow for 6 songs with no click or no nothing.
Yeah.
But like this last show, we completely forgot because he never uses a monitor behind him because, you know, he doesn't need it. Yeah. So all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I was playing and the kick drum was turned up so high and everything else. And he's like, I'm not used to hearing any of this while I play. So it's like trying to listen to something completely different than what you're used to, So,
yeah, and you also got all those loud noises that are kind of stressing you out in a way, It's just like
yeah.
blaring at you. You're not used to it. It's like a herd of elephants is coming at you or something.
I'm just glad I'm not a drummer like that. It's like, I don't know. I like the feel of the live environment while I'm playing. So it's like for me to have to like focus too much on what's in my ear as
Yeah.
far as like a click and a backing. I don't know. That's not something I would enjoy. I would need at least like one ear open
Yeah.
to the crowd and to the band.
I've always thought it's kind of like being the conductor, It's kind of like, you instead of the fucking, I don't know what that thing is called, but
Some magic stick.
the conductor magic stick, exactly. As a matter of fact, I got one of those right here, the conductor magic stick. This is Voldemort's wand, by the way. I show this off every week on the show. But yeah, so instead of that, you got drumsticks. You're just like leading the band, keeping the tempo. You got to keep with the backing tracks, and there's a lot of technology that goes behind it too. So whoever has to do that, it requires an amazing amount of focus. And like me too. Like I usually I would consider like in my band, I'm kind of like like I wrote the stuff and I put it in the backing tracks, but it's really the drummer who has to keep all of that like in line, and it's kind of stressful because everybody, like you said, in the front line, they're in the fans' faces and they're like communicating directly with the audience, and that's a different job in itself. So I think that like sometimes when you got a drummer in a band like yours or mine, you really have to find that guy who has like kind of like that focus. He's just like able to like have attention to detail, and also a very technically minded person, I might add as well.
Well, that would definitely not be me, so I'm glad I'm not drumming. I would forget halfway through that I'm even playing this song, like, oh wait, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And when I used to run the back line for the digital stuff, that would happen occasionally. Be like, oh wait, that's 6 bars, not 4. Oops. Now we're playing a different song. So yeah, I want to move on just a little bit. We're doing about a 20-minute segment here, so let me get onto the Viper Room show that you guys are going to be playing in Los Angeles. That's going to be fun. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about that one so they can be sure to check it out?
Oh, okay. So it'll be May 19th. It's on a Friday, so no excuses for people not to show up.
That's right. Day off, guys. Day off. You got no excuse.
So we're actually there's it's called like Rock and Roll Burlesque, Little Miss Nasty.
Ooh,
and
I like the sound of this already.
Yeah, so I saw them actually in Vegas, and they put on a really interesting show. It's really good.
Yeah.
And then in between. DJ Twiggy Ramirez, so Manson's bass player, is doing like a DJ set.
No way. I love Twiggy Ramirez is awesome.
Yeah, so he's doing a DJ set too. As far as I know, I think he's DJing while they're dancing. As I think, I'm like Patrick is the one that does all this. I'm just barely getting the information now.
Yeah, sure.
So, and one of the girls from the group has a band too, Gina and the Eastern Bloc.
Sure.
So, we're going to be the opening slot for that show, and it'll be our first show in LA.
Yeah,
so,
wow. That's a big milestone for you guys.
Yeah, we're really stoked. I mean, I've been to the Viper Room a couple of times, and I really wanted to play there for, ever since I saw Nine Electric there like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it's a great venue. It's really fun.
Yeah, really good room, and like I said, I saw them perform at Beauty Bar, and it's a really interesting show. So hopefully we get a good response. I have a couple of people in LA that I know that are supposed to show up.
Yeah,
You'll be one of them.
I'm definitely going to be there. I promise you that.
So hopefully we put on a good show. I mean, we've been practicing, so trying to see if we can do any different songs and see what's going to fit that show, because that's one thing with us. We're trying to figure out, like, every show that we play, it's kind of different. So when we have like a more heavier show, we pull out some of our heavier songs and then take them out, and just depending on the show.
That's really important, actually. I think that everybody who's listening should take note to that. Like, you're going to be playing in front of different types of audiences, and really, like, you got to tailor your set list to who you're playing in front of. Like, you're about to play in Los Angeles, and like, I think that LA like kind of gets a bad rep because everybody says that people don't appreciate shows out here. I fucking do, and I live here. Like, honestly, I think that there's a lot of shows to go to. I don't look at it like I'm overwhelmed. I look at it like there's a lot of shit to do now.
Right.
So
How can that be a bad thing?
How can that be a bad thing? I used to live in Orange County. I had dick to do like all day. And it wasn't like, like Anaheim, Orange County. I'm talking about like South OC, like, like down in Dana and shit like that. Just sleepy beach neighborhood. I was killing to get back to LA and go back to shows. But the point is that, like you have a lot of, you do have a kind of like a louder, more flashy sound that most people go for in LA, just simply because there is a little bit of a market saturation here. So people are able to like, really take advantage of that, play their best songs, their loudest shit, like their kind of flashiest live set. Is that kind of what you guys are thinking when you're coming into Los Angeles? You're going to have like the more flashy set, I guess?
I don't know. That's another thing we're still debating, because like I said, there's only a few songs that we would maybe take out or put back in, depending on the sets. So it's like, there's some of the older stuff, that a few songs that are a little bit heavier. And then there's some of the other newer stuff where it's like, I wouldn't say softer, but not as electronic and more like a little bit Rammstein-ish sounding, so it's more heavier, but with the strings, so it's like, it's just what show it fits.
Yeah. And the other cool thing about that is that, you got like a fan like me, for example, I'm going to know the words to a bunch of your songs. This is going to be fun. You guys are going to have a sing-along energy to it and stuff, I'm imagining.
That would be great. That's my goal always, to like write these like sing-along songs, I guess you can say. It's like who doesn't want the crowd singing their songs?
Absolutely.
What I mean?
When you see like people in the audience who are just like, repeating like lyrics that you wrote down that meant something to you, that's the best feeling in the world right there. So, at least you got one right here, brother. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, that's great, man. That's a good thing to hear. So
absolutely. And, when the show comes up in the Viper Room, we're also going to, you were talking about some of the other bands that are playing there. You guys are actually going to go down at what time?
That I should know everything by Monday, latest Tuesday, because there should be like a flyer and everything.
Okay, cool. And I'll post it here on Crimson Media as well, so everybody who's watching, just watch out for that flyer. I'll make sure you guys know when 9 Electric is coming to 9 Electric, E.M.D.F. Listen to me, dude. I'm just talking about like all the electronic, but the electronic bands, we all kind of like have a place in the same animal kingdom, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I just woke up, so.
Yeah, exactly. 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. What the hell's wrong with me? Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and post that flyer, and we'll make sure we get that. I think that we even have a clip from the House of Blues show that you guys played recently, right?
Yes, I will be sending that your way. If all the app and stuff on my phone goes through, then I will be sending you actually a new track called No Pain that we did. We haven't recorded it yet, but it's from the live show, and it seems to be a lot of people's favorite track that we've done so far. So
that's the track that's been getting the most attention. That's awesome.
Yeah,
very
love
good.
It has a intro to Equilibrium from Christian Bale. So,
oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I put it in. It's pretty much a song about if you can take a drug to feel no pain, would you do it? And it's like, definitely, yeah, to lose all emotion towards everything.
Yeah, but I mean, then again, you also see Christian Bale like watching, silently as a bunch of puppies got shot up in that movie and stuff like that too. I mean, I guess if not feeling anything, if you had to see something like that, is probably not a bad thing. But that's an interesting subject for a movie. That was one of my interesting subject for a song. That was one of my favorite movies back in the day. And Christian Bale, that dude's badass. Even if he flips out at a PA every now and then, he's definitely
it was
before
badass.
He was
looking for Rachel.
Yeah. American Psycho, my favorite movie of all time, I swear.
That's an amazing movie, yeah.
Yes, it is. All right, cool. We're going to be playing that track from the House of Blues show. You guys can go and check them out at the Viper Room. We're going to be putting up the flyer with all the details on that very soon. And, Daniel, thank you for spending 20 minutes chatting with us today. Glad to get the updates. And check out E.M.D.F. on Facebook and on YouTube, because they have a great YouTube channel as well. Daniel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you again, man.
All right, have a good one, man.
You too.
New song is just called No Pain.
That was Daniel from E.M.D.F, and that was their performance at the House of Blues. Thanks a lot for chatting with me today, Daniel. I appreciated that. And yeah, we'll hopefully be able to bring maybe a little bit of footage from the show they're going to be playing at the Viper Room coming up, but I don't want to sway you from buying tickets from it. You don't just get to see it with us. So be sure you buy tickets and go and see them. They're coming up at the Viper Room very soon. So yeah, that was Daniel from E.M.D.F, and we are in the second hour for Crimson Media Radio here. So it's been an interesting broadcast, so to speak. I tried to leave the Skype lines open so everybody could have a chance to call in and be able to chat with me, but unfortunately that took up too much bandwidth, so I had to kill that, and now we have the rest of the show just going on as normal. But yeah, we'll see if we can do that in future dates, maybe when I get FiOS in my area. Please, God. Ugh, that would be so good. 100 megabits of upload and download speed. That would be king. I will always love that. So yeah, what we're going to have going on for the second part of the hour is Patrick Carrico, who's one of my good friends. He called in and he did a short interview earlier today. He actually did it from his cell phone, and it was the first time he ever used the Skype app. So he lost video feed partway through, but we still have the audio from it. And I'm going to put a lovely picture of him whenever he's talking so you can kind of get a sense of who's speaking when we do that interview. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Patrick Carrico interview, and then we're going to call it a night. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in, and yeah, we're going to have a really great podcast coming up in the next few weeks. We have hashtag Yeah at the end of the month. They're going to be in the studio all the way from Arizona. They're going to be joining us, and then next month we got Chase from the Butcher Babies, the new drummer. He's going to be sitting down playing some drum solos for us and telling us about the new record. Probably going to play us some exclusive tracks as well. That's going to be awesome. Very grateful for that. So yeah, let's move on to the Patrick Carrico interview. This is the last segment of the show, and definitely stick around for this because Patrick has a lot of cool stuff going on, especially if you live in the Pasadena area. So here's Patrick Carrico, second hour here on Crimson Media Radio. All right, and we are back on Crimson Media Radio, hanging out on Skype with the newly downloaded Skype app on Patrick Carrico's phone. Hey! So Patrick just downloaded the Skype app just to hang out with us today, and yeah, so that's why he's hanging out in his car. You said your wife is asleep now, right?
Yeah, I live in a very small place, so I will wake her up with this awesome conversation.
And just to keep everybody up to date as well, Patrick Carrico is now officially a married man. It was in the making when we were in the first interview on episode 1, but now he has tied the knot. He is happily married and doing Skype interviews in his car for his wife's consideration. Good for you, dude.
Yeah, that's what you get to do when you get married.
Yeah, I'm not married yet, but I know the whole tiptoeing around the apartment game. Definitely. Yeah, man. So let me kind of get everybody up to date on what you've been doing lately. It sounds like you've been doing more the coffee nights, right? You've been playing some specific artist nights down at, what was that venue there?
Oh, yeah. So once a month, the last 4 or 5 months now, I've been hosting these Roadhouse series at the Coffee Gallery in Pasadena.
That's what it is, yep.
Yeah. And so each month is a new theme, whether it's a genre or a specific artist. The first month we did it was a tribute to Hank Williams, and then the second month it was a tribute to Buddy Holly.
Yeah, I saw both of those ones.
Yeah, and then I did a tribute to Sun Records, and then last month, or actually the last Thursday, it was a tribute to Chess Records and Stax Records.
Oh, wow.
Memphis Soul meets Chicago Blues.
Wow, yeah, Chess Records, you know, what was that, Cadillac Records? I love that movie.
Cadillac Records, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great one, and, you know, like, all the music that's in that, you know, like, that's all the stuff that I love, and that's one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of your music, is because you, like, kind of capture, like, the Americana, you know, soundtrack, and it's all such a vintage feel, and, you know, Pasadena's a great town for that kind of stuff, too, just having, like, that kind of old-school feel for it.
Yeah, it's, I played out in Pasadena like one time at the Ice House.
The Ice House, huh?
Yeah, comedy store. Oh no, you're going dark. My phone's screwed up.
Oh no.
I got the iPhone. As long as you can still hear me.
I can still hear you and see you. I can see you. I just lost you.
Oh, great.
We just lost Pat.
I can no longer see you. This is the damn iPhone. I'm getting the black screen of death right now.
That's okay. I can still hear you. So we'll keep chatting anyways. Yeah, so you were talking about the Ice House. What is that?
Oh, it's this comedy club out in Pasadena. I don't even know if it's still there anymore, but I played out there once. Anywho, that's not. I guess the point is I've been playing there now monthly at the Coffee Gallery, and I guess it's just good. It's a good spot because it's like, it's not too far from LA, and it's kind of like right there in the middle for like people east to LA too.
Sure. Yeah. I'm honestly, I need to make it out to more of your Pasadena shows, man. It's usually on Thursdays, and that's one of my busy days. But Thursday nights, I gotta make it out because that's only like a 10-minute drive for me.
Yeah, but you're right about the area, though. I mean, there's like there's a good scene, and there's good artists out there that are in that kind of like country blues Americana style. And
sure.
And I don't know what happened, but I did the first show out there, and then after that, when I did the Buddy Holly, my second Roadhouse series, it sold out, and it's been selling out ever since, and it's getting so crowded. Like they're packing people in this place now, where it's like,
that's great, man.
Yeah, they're having to push people away, send people home.
Oh, well, that's not excellent, but I mean, ultimately, it's a good problem to have. You can't even have enough people inside of the venue.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a big place, but
sure.
It's not like I think the room can only hold like 50 people safely, but we had about 65 to 70 people in there.
Wow.
Last Saturday, and
was it just you doing that performance?
No, I get other artists to come down, whether it's a band or just a singer or a songwriter,
sure,
or whatever, and then. So we have 4 main acts that go on, and we play about 3 to 4 songs each, and then we have other guests in between all that, and it's crazy. We had Caroline. Oh man, I feel like an asshole now. I can't remember her last name.
Hey, you know what? I forget band names on the show all the time, dude.
Yeah, but she was on the same. She was great friends with Buddy Holly. She was on the same label as him, and she came down and were telling stories about her relationships with him, and
sure,
how some of the songs might have been about her. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really interesting. And we had this guy. He was a bass player. He sat in with one of the artists, and he's played bass for like Willie Dixon and like
what?
all these like famous people. I mean, there's some like real deal people coming to. I mean, everyone's real deal that they're coming down there. But I mean, we have some seasoned veterans. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, LA kind of is like the epicenter for a lot of these types of things. Oh, I just got a video from Daniel Dazjik. Awesome, cool. So he's getting to have his song played tonight. Sorry, I digress. Yeah, but the cool thing is, is that in LA, even on the outskirts like Pasadena and stuff, you really have like the option to like, just like hang out, meet a lot of people who are like, in the outskirts. They want to like go to like, Pasadena, just see like a cool show, and then you end up meeting the bass player from Willie fucking Dixon. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, I mean that's that's old school right there.
Oh yeah. That's like you can't get any more old school than that.
No, definitely not. And here's the other thing is that I had to make I'm going to MI right now, and for one of my classes I had to list all my artists. We had to like start with the 2 artists that influenced your band. And then you had to see the 2 artists that influenced that band. And then you go to see the 2 artists that influenced each of those bands, and et cetera, et cetera. And then I finally got down to it, and Willie Dixon was like at 3 of the roots for like the artists that I had been inspired by.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool. He has like such a footprint on American music, even all the way up to like American hard rock and electronic,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
the blues
insane.
feel.
It just like infected every single thing that we know today. Like it's like they're not kidding. Where it's like everything came from the blues. Like no shit.
yeah, and I hate to hear people deny that fact.
Yes, I mean that's where rock and roll came from. Period.
That's where rock and roll came from, and that's why I think that in some ways Patrick Carrico Band is like a biggest tribute to rock and roll, like out there in a way. You're playing like some of the oldest stuff that's out there, and you're doing it well as well. So people really get that vintage feel from listening to your act. Yeah. So what I was gonna ask is, where else are you playing besides the Pasadena Coffee House? What else has been going on in the world of Patrick Carrico?
Oh well, lots of things.
Of course, never a boring moment.
Yeah, I played my first gig in Arcadia finally yesterday. I played at the Mount Low Brewing Company.
Oh wow.
Yeah, really nice place actually. Really, really nice. Very classy.
Very
and it's
cool.
very welcoming too.
Yeah.
But they were having a it's like in downtown Old Town Arcadia. But yeah, they're having like an animal rescue thing going on. So they had like all these vendors and animals. You can like take home an animal. And,
Oh,
it was
that's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, it was cool. And then this Friday I'm playing in Upland over at Last Name Brewery, aka Dale Brothers. And then this Saturday I'll be playing at Laverne Brewery. And those are going to be the last two shows that Wayne the Flame is going to be playing with me.
Oh no.
Well, I mean, we're still buddies. We're buddies still. I talk to him every day.
Yeah.
We are friends before we are music guys.
Yeah, I understand that. That's an admirable outlook, by the way.
Yeah, and he's going off to hunt ghosts in the paranormal.
Oh wow. So does he have a spectral detector and all that?
Well, he's getting hooked up with this investigative group. I forgot what they're called, but he sent me all the information, and so he's gonna have another meeting with them soon.
That's amazing. I need to hear more about this. I'm gonna post more about this on Crimson Media for sure.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one of the things, sorry, just to cut you off really quick, one of the things that Crimson Media has as one of our likes is the Spectral Detector Company, because I used to know the person who invented that product, and it's actually, and it's used by ghost hunters and all that, and so we actually, like, we took a spectral detector to like a few houses. I didn't go too deep with it, but yeah, we were able to just like use that thing. It was pretty freaky, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot more out there than meets the eye.
That's the truth, dude. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wayne's going to be going off ghost hunting. That's amazing. And you know what, Wayne, I'm sure he would not be shy talking about all this either. He'd love to tell everybody about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because Wayne's such a good storyteller. Hearing him tell stories about ghosts, oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've already heard plenty of stories about ghosts in his house. Actually, I've been there and witnessed a few things that were just kind of like, I couldn't explain what it is. I can't say it's ghost, but I can't tell you what.
You can't rule it out. Yeah, where does Wayne live?
Wayne
I mean, you don't have to give an address because we're obviously online.
Well, his address is 88.
No, stop. We can't do this.
He lives in the Claremont, California.
That's, okay. Yeah, that's a pretty old school neighborhood, actually.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know very much in life, and I don't know very much about Claremont, except anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I heard, like, because it's Indian Hill, right? So he told me that I guess there was like a bunch of like Indian deaths there on that. He lives off of Indian Hill, so I don't know if it's true, but I guess it's like a haunted area or something.
It's already turning into like a Stephen King novel, huh?
Oh yeah, it's like the town of Derry and it, but it's Claremont now.
Oh boy, that's ridiculous. Yeah, so he's actually like has like a pretty spooky house in Claremont. You know what, Claremont? If I had to name like one of the neighborhoods that was possible, it'd probably be like old school Redlands and Claremont.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, you know what? I thought I heard stuff about Redlands as well.
Yeah, Redlands is kind of creepy when you think about it. You know, it's like really got like these old school like dynasty families who own it. All these Victorian houses. It's been around since a very, very long time. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were like, you know, some shady like, you know, old practices that went on amongst the town's elders. I'm not saying that that's what's going on, but I watch a lot of Silent Hill, so I will hope that's what's going on. Yeah. So, but Wayne's leaving. So who's going to be playing drums for Patrick Carrico Band?
Well, we've played a few shows with him already, and Mr. Rob Simpson's been playing with us.
Rob Simpson.
Isn't that something? That's his name.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob Simpson.
Yeah, he's great. Actually, the day before I got married, I was playing at Laverne Brewery. That's like my home base.
Sure.
And I was playing there. It was kind of like this junk show. I was making mistakes left and right, but he showed up with his wife, and he was watching, and I got to talking to him on the break. He's like, I love what you're doing. Like,
wow.
Hey, you like some drums? And I said, yeah, it'd be great. And then I jammed with the guy, and it just kind of fell naturally, you know, like it just sounded good, and he's easy going, and he's a good player, and it's good. So it worked out. And Wayne's gonna go hunt ghosts and sell some cars and stuff on the side. Like, yeah, all right, sure, let's do it.
Oh, he's gonna sell some cars too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna work on a car lot. I mean, like kind of like a what's that show? Fast Richard Rawlings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that it's kind of like that, where he buys cars and he gets his dudes to fix them up, and then he sells them.
Yeah, Wayne kind of has that gearhead thing going to, or no, excuse me, that's not Wayne we're talking about, is it?
No, I'm talking about Wayne. Yeah.
Oh, we are talking about Wayne. Okay, good. I thought
Yeah.
I was talking about your other drummer. I got a little
Oh
confused
no,
there.
I'm talking about Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne the Flame. Yeah, so he's
Wayne the Flame.
he looks like he's a gearhead for sure.
He is. He's got that old rat rod with the Wayne the Flame mobile. With
Yeah, you guys pulled in with that last time. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I love it when people put together their own mobile, like they customize something so that they can go on tour with it. It's just amazing to me. It's like the DIY attitude that made this country great.
Oh well, no, not the gig rig, not the van.
It's not the gig rig. Dang, there's so many.
No, not the gig rig. No, that's his car too. But he has a 1935 or 34 rat rod that it's black. It's got prison bars on it. I mean,
wow.
I gotta send you a picture. Yeah, it's insane looking.
If I get a picture of that before the show, I'm gonna post that up sometime during the show just to give everybody a taste of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I will definitely. I'll send you.
Amazing.
It's like greenback actually.
Yeah. Who else is playing with the Patrick Carrico band right now? Do you guys have a stand-up bassist right now, or?
Yeah, he sits in once in a while. Dan the Man.
I remember Dan the Man.
Yeah, he sits in once in a while.
Cool,
and then Mr. John Glenn plays bass guitar. He lives in Rancho, and I play with him more just because he's closer and it's easier. It's just more convenient.
Yeah, sure.
And he's really good too. Like his skill level is just incredible. He's just he's really really good.
Does he play the stand-up bass? You said.
He plays bass guitar. He has a stand-up bass, but he doesn't like to play it. It kind of bums me out.
Oh, that's too bad, man. That your sound lends itself to that.
I know, but I mean but the choices he makes though, what he plays, it's like spot on perfect. Like it's good. It's awesome. It's like exactly what I'm looking for.
Good.
But
that's
ultimately
ultimately
what
matters.
To complete it, but it's all right.
Yeah, good. Well, I mean, hopefully he'll bust out the stand-up bass for more of your future shows, anyways.
Oh yeah.
Because I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And then actually, a man by the name of Mark Weller, he sat in with me the other day playing pedal steel. He plays in his own band. He plays guitar and everything. He's a doctor.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's been looking for another band to play pedal steel with. So, and he's friends with John Glenn and Brad Sedona. That he'll play guitar with me too, and they're all buddies. And so he's like, yeah, I want to play. So.
Where does a doctor find the time to play some rock and roll on the side is what I want to know.
That's it. But it's not saving lives, he's playing music. So
that's great. I'm not saying that, like if you save lives, you can't play music, but I'm just saying like doctors, that's a demanding schedule, right? I mean, how do you find like time for rock and roll on the side of that?
I don't know, dude.
Gotta ask him. That's a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that's a great lineup you guys got, and you guys have been playing a lot of great shows coming up, and we've gone over a bunch of them. But let me ask you, what's coming up in the future here?
We got Wayne the Flame's 2 send-off shows next weekend, next Friday and Saturday.
Cool. You want to see Wayne the Flame? Go to these next 2 shows, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and then next month on the 18th at the Coffee Gallery, it's going to be our Roadhouse Series tribute to the Bakersfield sound.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we're going to have, I'm going to be there, Cassidy Hill, another great artist. Ronnie Mack is...
Ronnie Mack.
If anyone knows who Ronnie Mack is, he's been around for decades. And this guy is like a legend. So, I mean, and then we'll have Coyote Moon and some other artist for the night. We're still putting it together, but we have our 4
But it's going to be good.
It's going to sell out. It's expected to sell out. In fact, I heard that we might be doing I guess like what do you call that, where it's so good you do it again?
Oh, an encore?
An encore show of last Thursday's tribute to Stax and Chess Records. So, I don't know.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But you can find everything at patrickcarrico.com and my Facebook, and you can go on YouTube and just type my name in, and you'll find a million bajillion videos. Some of them are good, and some of them are great. Some of them are okay.
I think that most of them are good or the great category, definitely.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you.
And it looks like you emailed me a video here for one of your tracks as well, and we're going to go ahead and play that on Crimson Media Radio before we let you boogie here. But yeah, what's this track right here is from the Chuck Berry tribute that you did recently, right?
That was from the Chess Records.
The Chess Records, excuse me, yeah.
So yeah, I did some Chuck Berry, and I was so like, I don't know, just something happened that night, and I got so caught up in listening to everyone else play, and like, boy, there's a lot of people that I was just like, what are the words to this song? I made so many mistakes the last Thursday. I mean, no one cared, but
yeah.
What?
I thought it was a great performance, man. Like, you were nailing like all those guitar parts, and like I was expecting to see a duck walk from you or two, but
Oh no, I was just I got frozen and like, whoa, is this really happening right now? Like,
yeah, I totally understand, but your performance was on point. Like, the guitar playing that you've done, I've kind of like watched you evolve as a guitar player, because I remember when you were first playing in the studio, and you were first like kind of doing your first leads on acoustic guitar and stuff like that, and it was a very like deliberate, like good, like, kind of like, exactly what notes he's hitting instead of just like a jumble of notes kind of guitar solo. And now I really feel like you've perfected the method of going back and forth, singing your lead part and playing that lead part on guitar. It's not an easy task to like kind of juggle those two things in your head.
No, it isn't. Especially, and I think that's what happened to me on Thursday. I was just like, wow, there's like so many people here, and this is great. I'm excited. I'm having a great time. And then now, I'm juggling all this stuff in my head. So I mean, whatever, it's gonna happen. It happens to everybody. But I mean, it's a great time.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I feel like I've gotten a lot better, and I'm always trying to learn and get better.
Yeah, and you're practicing, you're doing your thing, and you're playing live a lot. That's the important part.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it makes me feel good when I do it, and people like it.
Yeah, that's good. You got to feel good, and people liking you isn't a bad thing either. All right, so we're going to go ahead and play the track. This is C'est La Vie by Chuck Berry. You should know the one. It's from Chess Records. Patrick Carrico, thank you very much for joining us. I'll let you tiptoe back into your apartment so that the missus doesn't wake up. And, we'll talk to you in a few weeks. We'll see how you're doing, and we'll talk about some future shows. I'm going to go to that Pasadena show, by the way, because I need to see that that Roadhouse tribute. That'll be great.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in, Pat. And check him out at patrickcarrico.com. And you can also see the Patrick Carrico Band on Facebook, so look them up. We're going to be playing that track right now on Crimson Media Radio. This is C'est La Vie by Chuck Berry, as performed by Patrick Carrico.
Yeah.
From the chapel bell. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell.
And that was Patrick Carrico on Crimson Media Radio. That was the interview and the song, as a matter of fact. And that is a broadcast day here on Crimson Media Radio. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Sorry for the broadcast drops at the very beginning. I do apologize, but this will be all streaming, all 100% uploaded by tonight at the very latest tomorrow morning. You'll be able to have a reliable connection to that, and I'll slice together the beginning part too, so you can hear the news as well. And I really do think that the topic of the hour was an important one, so hopefully you guys will be able to, if you missed the first hour, check it out and learn more about the power of positivity. I think it's a cool subject. All right, I'm going to my weekly dinner now that I am done with the broadcast day. Once again, thanks for everybody who tuned in. Once again, you can go and check out Crimson Media Radio on the Twitter. That's right there at Crimson Media ENT. Please tweet us. Let us know if you want to have one of your tracks played or if you want to be on the show. Happy to listen to all of you guys, all right? And we're going to be taking off until next week. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Crimson Media Radio. Signing out.